Have you ever tried to explain what you're going through, only to be met with a blank stare, a shrug, or even worse, disbelief? When it comes to menopause, the people closest to us, especially male partners, often just don't get it. Today on MenoSpark, we're talking about how to have real, compassionate, and effective conversations with your partner, even when they don't seem to understand what menopause really feels like. I want to welcome you to MenoSpark, a podcast that helps Gen X women reignite their spark through perimenopause and beyond. I'm your host, Allie. I'm a board certified sexologist, menopause care provider, integrative wellness coach, and your go to guide for navigating the wild, weird, and wonderful ride that is midlife. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. And if you're returning, thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Also, if you're feeling stuck and want personalized support to get your energy, libido, and overall wellness back on track, head over to Menopause Wellness and check out my 20-minute integrative wellness consult. It's like menopause reset button, and who doesn't need one of those? If you'd like to be part of one of my Spark sessions, the links are below to sign up as a guest. If you help somebody in midlife, you're welcome. If you are somebody in midlife, you're welcome. So please apply below. So today's topic is how to talk to your partner about menopause when they just don't get it. Because frankly, guys, Gen X, when we hit the menopause wall with perimenopause, we didn't know what the F was going on. I mean, seriously, we didn't. There was really not a whole lot of information out there because our parents didn't talk about it, because their parents didn't talk about it, and so forth and so forth. So Gen X, we finally decided, screw this crap, and we started talking about it. But we didn't know what menopause or perimenopause was until we got there, right? The whole menopausal journey, menopause, and then postmenopause. We thought hot flashes. I mean, personally, me, I thought hot flashes and maybe some mood swings. Really? That's what I thought. Um, but as I hit that brick wall that is peri, and I found the over 50 different um, symptoms. There we go, brain fog. Thank you. Symptoms that we can encounter during our menopausal journey. I was just floored, absolutely floored. Um, Thank God for myself and the women I help that I jumped in and did research. I've gone back to school, really doing everything I can to help women on their menopausal journey. But if we didn't know what was going on, our partners, especially if they're men, certainly do not know what's going on. And they may feel if you're like, I'm not in the mood for it, man, for intimacy. I'm not in the mood. Or one minute you're singing and dancing, you're having a great time, and the next minute you're crying. Or rage suddenly takes you over and the man is chewing maybe too loud. And you're like, shut the F up. And they're looking at you like, what is going on with you? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, man. So if we don't get it, if we didn't get it at first, they certainly do not get it. And so sometimes it is important for women to talk to their partners about the menopausal journey. I had a client about a month ago. I was talking with her, and she's like, Allie, I don't know what to do because I tell my husband what's going on, and he doesn't believe me. He just says it's just another excuse not to have sex with him. And, I asked, I said, well, how often do you turn him down? And she goes, always. Okay. Before you hit menopause, how many times did you turn him down? And she goes, well, I'd say maybe half. Okay. So he's basing this current track record on what happened in the past, correct? And she's like, well, I guess so. I go, what's changed between then and now? She goes, well, back then I was raising kids and I was just tired all the time. I was worn out by the time I got home from work and took care of the kids and the homework. Because, women seem to do everything, she says, which as a mom, I agree. And I put in a bed. All I want to do is go to sleep. I was in no mood to be cozy with my husband, but I gave in half the time because I know we needed it. But you know what? Now I don't even feel the need to give in. I have no mood for sex. It hurts when we have intercourse. I just don't want any part of it. And if it hurts and I start crying, that doesn't bode well for him. He immediately takes offense and just calls off the whole thing and sleeps on the couch. So have you tried to explain more about menopause? She goes, no. I said I was in it. He said it was just an excuse, and we really don't talk much. And then she went on to say the kids aren't home and it's just them two. I said, so let me get this straight. You and your husband live in the same house and you don't speak to each other. Correct, she says, unless it's something to do about the house or one of the kids. Otherwise, they go their separate ways. He watches TV in the bedroom. He watches TV downstairs in the living room. He goes out with his friends. She goes out with her friends, and they have no relationship. So I said, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to send you information on menopause. I want you to hand it to him. Just put it down and say, just please look at this for a minute, okay? And if he doesn't want to do that, then please have him come talk to me. Be more than happy to explain to him what's going on. I will talk to um anybody who doesn't understand what's going on. Um, whether you find me through the Maven Clinic or you find me in my private practice on menopause wellness or the Passion Zone, I will talk to anybody who wants to learn more about menopause. But I finally ended up talking to the husband, and I could feel his pain. I could feel his rejection. I could feel his frustration. And we had a good long talk for those 30 minutes. And it was deep. It was heart to heart. He finally understood where his wife was coming based on the literature she gave him from me and the fact that I talked to him. So once we started that, then we start the healing process to move back together again, and that's what we're working on now. But he really had no clue. None. Zilch. He just took it as an excuse, which I am finding out a lot of men are. Okay. So let's move on to the segment. So why is it so hard for partners to understand menopause? You know, first of all, I'd like for you to give yourself some grace. I had to give myself grace when I hit menopause. If it feels like your partner just doesn't get it, you're not crazy and you're not alone by any um anything. There are a few reasons why this happens. Number one, lack of education about menopause, the whole menopausal journey. Hell, we didn't have it. But now Gen X is popping out books, websites, products, support groups. So Gen X, we finally get it, and we're passing that down for millennials, Gen Z, and on. Thank God. So lack of education. Most men and even women were never taught that menopause is actually there's so much more beyond the hot flash, right? There's invisible symptoms. There's fatigue, there's anxiety, there's depression, there's brain fog. These are things that can't be seen by anybody else. They can't see it happening. So it's easy for other people to dismiss them. Cultural conditioning. Many men are taught to fix problems. They are. Men are taught to fix, not sit with discomfort. When they can't fix menopause, they often downplay it instead. Then there's fear. Menopause signals aging, change, maybe mortality. Some partners subconsciously don't want to face what menopause could represent for you and for them. Understanding why they struggle helps us approach the conversation with more compassion and less blame. Timing and energy matter. They matter in setting the stage for the conversation. You don't want to launch into a menopause talk during an argument, when you're exhausted, or when they're distracted. So instead, pick a calm moment. Frame it as, I want to share something important about my experience, not, you're doing everything wrong. Okay? Approach it as educating and inviting, not blaming. Simple opener could be, there are some changes happening with my body and my mind right now, and I would love to talk to you about it because your support means a lot to me. So this opens the door to the conversation without putting them on the defensive. Now, explaining menopause in a way that they'll actually uh, listen, listen to it. You want to skip the medical textbooks. Medical jargon is not going to do anything. You want to focus in on the emotional impact. That's what most partners connect with. You might say, imagine feeling hungover, jet lagged, and anxious every day, but still trying to function like normal. Or it's like someone rewired my emotions and energy levels overnight, and I'm still learning how to adapt. And I apologize for whatever's going on in the background with the loud car. Um, Good Lord. It's not about you. It's not even about me being negative. It's about the physiological shift that affects every part of my mind and body. You could also say something like, having intimacy is difficult for me because desire is no longer on my brain. And the land down under, that's what I call it for some women, the land down under is drying up like the Sierra Desert. It hurts. You can tell them something like that. You paint a picture that they can emotionally understand, even if they can't physically experience it, okay? So, what you might need for them and how to ask for it. Be clear about what kind of support you need. Some examples. Sometimes I need you to just listen to me, not fix it. When I say I'm exhausted, I need you to trust me, not question if it's real. When I'm overwhelmed, a hug or a kind word helps more than advice. Men especially appreciate clear instructions. If they know what helps, they're usually more willing to show up for you. And if they still don't get it, if your partner still dismisses you, mocks you, or minimizes your experience, here's the hard truth, ladies. You can't force someone to understand what they refuse to learn. But you can stand in your truth without apology, set boundaries about you will and will not tolerate from them, seek support from friends, communities, professionals who do understand. You deserve to be believed. You deserve compassion. Period. If your partner won't grow with you, that's their limitation, not yours. Now, I know we lit a spark around a tough topic, and this could go on for quite some time about how to talk to your partner about menopause when it feels like they just don't get it. But I want you to remember you are not imagining your symptoms. There's over 50. Okay. You deserve support, not skepticism. It's okay to ask what you need and to let go of needing permission to validate your experience. If today's episode hit home, I see you, I've been there, and I promise there is a way forward. Don't walk this road alone. You are worthy of healing, connection, and joy. I want to thank you for hanging out with me here on MenoSpark today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, got some information out of it. If you found this helpful, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and make sure you are subscribed. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. I'm at Substack at the Menopausal Minute for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. And if no one's told you this today, let me be the first to say it. You are fabulous. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Until next time, keep that spark alive. You deserve it.